Cleveland Browns 27, Arizona Cardinals 0. Wasn't a close game.
No, it wasn't.
But the Browns, as I mentioned, playoff team, they moved to 5-3. Cardinals fall to 1-8. Clayton Tune, the rookie, made his first start. It did not go so hot. And, sometimes on the preview show, we don't get it right. We didn't know Deshaun Watson was going to play.
No.
And he did play, and he played pretty clean game. 19 of 30 for 219, 2 touchdowns, a couple really nice passes to Amari Cooper. Amari finishes with 5 catches for $139 and a score, including, I'll let you talk. I know you were excited about the touchdown, the batted pass touchdown.
I mean, just a ridiculous play.
It was ridiculous.
Like he threw the ball off a dude's helmet, and it ends up bouncing skyward into the hands of Amari Cooper, who makes a great play, actually.
He tracked that thing down.
Well, he
like
tracked it down, and he's not necessarily in best position of the various players around the ball to get it, but ends up going up and taking it away from a Cardinals defender to snag the touchdown. But just like Watson, it wasn't even a batted pass in the way that you usually see them, which is a guy jumps up, gets his hand there. He threw it. It was like the replacements, Shane Falco, where he's angry at the defensive lineman that's kicking his ass and says, "Let him through," and just fires the ball right at his face. That was what Watson did to a defensive tackle, just beamed him with the football, and instead the ball ends up like landing in the hands of Amari Cooper for a touchdown.
It's beautiful design. This was kind of a beatdown the whole way through. I mean, it wasn't even a beatdown. It was just Arizona could not do anything offensively. 3 turnover-worthy plays for Clayton Tune, a couple picks, fumble in there, and just dominant again by this Browns defense.
Well, yeah. Was this was this the most sort of overt tanking move that's been made by a team this season? Because Arizona trades away Josh Dobbs at the trade deadline. And you're saying, okay, that makes some sense if you're going to start Kyler Murray, which you need to do at some point this season to see him and figure out what he's going to be. But instead, they're like, no, we're going to give Clayton Tune a run out first. I mean, was this a case of we don't want to put Kyler Murray out there against the Cleveland Browns defense this season because they've been amazing. So let's have one game for Clayton just to ease that transition. Like the Dobbs thing needs to happen now because it's a deadline, right?
Right.
So we got to get rid of him now if we're getting rid of him to get anything back. We do that, and now it's like, well, your options are rookie 5th rounder Clayton Tune or Kyler Murray against the best defense in the NFL. Maybe that's an unnecessary,
sacrifice Tune to the Browns.
Yeah, it's like we don't like Kyler Murray's knee. He's coming back. We don't want to throw him out against this. So unfortunately for you, Clayton, your career is going to be sacrificed on the altar of giving Kyler Murray one better game to come back against.
I wouldn't call it a tanking move. I mean, the Cardinals, this is kind of what we expected the Cardinals to look like at the beginning of the season, except for Josh Dobbs elevated them and kept making them competitive every single week. I just think it's a good, smart, organizational. Well, on one hand, I think it's just a smart move to just kind of see what you have, knowing you're not going to win anything this year. Hey, go ahead, get out there, Clayton. Let's see what you got.
Right,
get you some game experience. Here's the other thing, though, because we're going to talk a lot about Josh Dobbs later on. Was Kyler Murray ready? He'd practiced for 2 weeks, basically. And it's a new offense and the whole thing. And so I think you want to do well by Kyler Murray. Now, on the other hand, I know Josh Dobbs picks up the playbook, on the plane on the way to the game, and he goes out there and figures it out. But there's probably this element of, okay, Kyler Murray's been cleared medically, but we want to get him in game shape and game ready, and maybe it's just like, hey, let's give him another week.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, the idea of, you got to see what you have in Clayton too. Number one, it's one game, so I don't know if you're learning anything from it. But number two, you already need to see what you have in Kyler Murray, which is probably more important because he's got a much larger number attached to him, and he's the potential starter going forward. Clayton Tune would be a what if we stumble into a miracle thing low down in the draft. So, I mean, the reason I say tanking is they voluntarily got worse at quarterback this week and had multiple options not to do that, and instead chose to actually, we are going to go with the worst quarterback we can deliberately.
Just make sure you sneak another loss in there. Tune was under pressure 17 times
Yeah.
He went 1 for 7 for 1 yard. Sacked 7 times. 3 turnover-worthy plays. There was a drop in there. It was not good. I don't know if it was a clear tank, but whatever. I don't hate it. So 17 out of 32 dropbacks yesterday under pressure for Clayton Tune. Not great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Browns dominated. Myles Garrett still on pace to break the pass rush grade record by a mile. And another game where a lot of people contributed. Jordan Elliott had a sack. Shelby Harris in there. Obo Okoronkwo had a big game. Browns defense dominated.
Dalvin Tomlinson, 3 sacks.
Tomlinson, everybody played well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Browns are tough, man. And then Watson threw the ball well. Was it the game before his injury was his best game? So Watson's two out of Watson's last 3 starts were his best games as a Brown, basically. The one sandwiched in the middle is when he had 2 picks on 5 attempts and got hurt again.
Right.
But overarching, Deshaun Watson may be looking a little bit better, and this was our big question mark coming into the season. We weren't expecting the Browns defense to be this good, but if Watson just plays, 75 PFF grade type of ball, they're dangerous.
If they get this version of Deshaun Watson for the rest of the season, the Browns are a very difficult team to beat because that defense is absolutely nasty. Now,
those are the words that I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, this came against the Arizona Cardinals, who, remember, heading into the season were like, this is the worst defense on paper I've ever seen. Now, maybe it's been better than that so far, but let's level set a little bit. Like, this is a pretty low bar to be clearing. Now, he cleared it. That's great, but let's see how much room did he clear it with? How much harder does it get when we face real teams?
You got anything else on this game?
Barbarian watch, no sacks.
Good grade, though. Didn't he have a good grade?
Yeah, he had a few pressures.
He'll grade well when it goes live.
We're only interested in the sacks, though, because there's a bet attached to that.
Is he still sitting at 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Since like week 2.
Yeah. Like 4 right out of the gate and then nothing since. But you're right. He did actually play a reasonable amount and get some pressure, which has not been an ever-present feature of his game this year.
And you got to give the Zaven Collins shout-out.
He got a few pressures as well.
You are the foremost Cardinals expert in the national football media. They have to be the least watched team by national media.
I mean, you were saying that yesterday, and I was like,
no. That's something I said to you offline that we don't admit.
Oh, yeah. Now you're Mr. Honor off the record?
That was off the record, yes.
Okay. I'm just saying the only reason to watch the Cardinals is now in Minnesota. So,
true.
It's not shocking.
For transparency, I said the Cardinals might be the team that I've, mentally paid attention to the least out of any team this year.
Uh-huh.
Is that fair? I assume there's other people.
I mean, fair
They're
or
like
otherwise.
the punters of NFL teams this year for me.
Yeah. Fair or otherwise, it's facts.
I'm just spitting facts here.
Mm-hmm.